Started. Woo! Well, welcome, guys. I am so excited. This is typically our emerging leaders training, but I have a special treat for you guys on today. I was inquiring on who was like popping right now, like who is doing a good job is helping people get these quick start bonuses and doing it effectively. And so Rachel's name was dropped on me, and I'm like, wait a second. All right, I'm reaching out. First of all, I love Rachel. I've known her for quite some time. She's been in the company for quite some time. So you will hear her story first before we jump into all the details. Make sure you have your notebook, turn your camera on. I know that when we do these type of Zooms, it's good to talk to real people as if we were in a room. So if you're able to turn your camera on, ain't nobody checking for you. I don't care how you looking. It's just good to see faces. Okay, it's good to see faces. Y'all, Rachel is a phenomenal leader. Such integrity, has a high love for Christ on such a high level. Been through the trenches, so she's been through some things. Okay, been through the trenches, but loves the company, loves what we're able to do here, and so I am just honored. I will have questions, but I'm a Holy Spirit leads type person. So guys, y'all give her some love, some fire. If we were actually in the building, you'd probably be screaming or something, but give Rachel some love. And we are so excited to have you here on this evening. Welcome.
Thank you so much. I'm excited. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, I'm grateful. Thank you for saying yes and just taking out your time. I know you have another call after this, so I will not be long-winded. Just start off with introducing us to who you are. Like, who are you? How long have you been here? And all, whatever God has laid on your heart about your story. How about that?
Okay, and I love that. I am definitely one that I'm just like, just let the Lord lead. So I'm here for it. So, all right. So, hi, my name is Rachel Needs. I've been with the company for 5 years. It was 5 years in November. And I'm a presidential diamond. And so when I joined, I was a stay-at-home mom. That's what I always felt like the Lord laid on my heart. Like I had no desire. I didn't go to school. I didn't go to college. I just wanted to be home with my family, my husband. Just I wanted to be there for all the things. I wanted to have cookies made for them when they came home from school. I wanted to go on the field trips. I wanted to be a room mom, go to the parties. And so I wanted to be here when they're homesick. And my son is homesick today. But I didn't want to miss a thing. That just broke my heart thinking about missing anything in their lives. And but it was about 2 years before I joined the business. My husband and I both were kind of feeling on our hearts that we need to bring in an extra income. He had a great job. Um, God always provided. You know how that is, just miraculously, he provides, but we were never getting ahead. And we just kind of felt like he was laying that on our hearts. And we kind of wondered, like, what is that going to look like? Like my husband, he wasn't going to make any more money at his job. I didn't have a college degree. So we're like, what is this going to look like? Am I going to have to go back to school? And I would just cry thinking about that. And so we kept praying and we looked at different things like, at home jobs like medical billing or something, and nothing seemed right. And we were just going through the motions, and all of a sudden I get a random follow request on Instagram from Kelly Brown. And I was like, oh, she's probably just trying to sell me something. But I was like, I don't know. Her page is really cute, and her family, she's a Christian. I was like, okay, she loves the Lord. And so I was like, all right, I'll let her follow me. And I followed her back. And I saw what this business did for her and her family. And at the time, she had been in the business for years. She retired her husband. And I thought I would love that opportunity. My husband didn't want to quit his job at the time, but I was like, that would be awesome to have that option that if we wanted to, we could. And so I joined after about a month. I was like, the next time she posts, I'm just going to comment. She posted about the coffee, and I said, I would love information on the business. And so she messaged me. We talked that day. And so I joined, and she said, if there's anybody that you're like, you know, that you would love to do this with, let's get them in with you. So I called my sister and my best friend that day, and I was like, you have to do this business with me. I was so excited. I don't think I even knew what company this was, but I was just so excited. And I was asking everybody to join my team. Like, I thought this was amazing that I could work from my phone. I wasn't interested in parties at the time. I wanted to be here with my family. So I wanted everybody to do it. And so my sister, my best friend, joined my team that day. And so I joined in November of 2018. I went Emerald in December, Diamond in January, Double in February, and Triple Diamond in March. So we went Triple Diamond in 4.5 months. And then the next year we went Presidential. And this business has just blessed us beyond all measure. Like, just so many things. We've been able to pay off over $20,000 in debt. We couldn't afford a vehicle. My family owns a car lot, so I just always drove a vehicle from their lot. Blessed, yeah. But we were able to buy a brand new SUV. We had just built this house, so we were able to do some front porch, like some landscape out front, paid cash. Um, just traveling, like, we're in Southeast Ohio, and the furthest west we'd ever been was Tennessee. And so that next summer we paid cash and we went to visit Kelly and her family in Nevada. And when I got off the plane in Las Vegas, I just started crying, thinking, I never dreamed I'd be able to see anything like this, let alone take my boys at such a young age to see something different than what we're used to seeing. And after 2 years, my husband was able to quit his job, the job that he loved. It turned out it wasn't the job that he loved anymore. And so I'm like, it's kind of crazy because before I joined, I had actually been praying for 2 years because he kind of saw the writing on the wall that they were going to be selling the place he was at. And we were like, what's that going to look like? Because he worked Monday through Thursday, 9 to 5, weekends off, holidays off, great pay, great benefits. We're like, what is this going to look like? I didn't want him to go back to shift work, working away. And so I prayed all the time. I'm just like, Lord, whatever it is you give him, please give him something that he'll be safe most of all. But please don't let him have to travel. Please don't let him have to go back to shift work. We want him to be here for the holidays and the birthdays. And I'm like, is that why the Lord brought us this business? Like, it's like God's just awesome like that. Like, you want this to bring extra income, I'll do you one better, and I'll just let you go ahead and let him. You want him to not have to travel, I'll just bring him home full time. Like, just such a blessing. And then he just recently went back to work just because he wanted to. He's like, I want to be able to touch people like you have, because I want to be able to witness to people and be a light to people. So, but he was able to get a job that he wanted to, something with good hours and good pay, and not because we had to, because of bills, just because he wanted to. I mean, we're closer to the Lord because of this business, just so many things. Just the list can go on. You know how that is.
Listen, I'm just sitting here like, okay, yes, 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 yes. It never gets old hearing testimonies, but I don't know that I had ever really fully heard your story. And what a blessing. I think the thing is, you never know what somebody is experiencing and going through and what this business could possibly do for their life, which is just phenomenal. And then I gotta sign people off Instagram. We might do a whole nother Zoom about Instagram. Lord, if I could just open that floodgates, I am a Facebook builder. But anyways, you are okay, yeah. Okay. So look, you done found the business on Instagram, but you build on Facebook. That's hilarious. Okay. So let's talk about launching distributors. I guess, do you have any questions to see kind of who's in the room, or you just want to just give it straight up?
No, just if there's anything you like, I don't know, anything you
Yeah,
don't want me to,
absolutely.
but no, I'll just
Oh
bring it.
no,
Yeah.
girl, give it all. If they aren't here, they got questions. They should hit up their upline afterwards and get debriefed. I think the biggest thing is to the Quick Start program in general is such a blessing for a new distributor. I shared the other day at a party. Shout out to parties. But I shared that I said, man, like when I first started, the Quick Start or the Fast Start bonus, it was okay, one distributor, two customers, boom, that's it. That's all you can do. Like the only thing you can, and there's no repeat or anything like that. But then the distributor gets a shopping spree or something along those lines. But to have where your first 90 days you get, or first 3 calendar months, excuse me, you get unlimited bonuses. Like, how do you ensure that your new distributors are set up to get that? Because I don't think a lot of people are understanding it in terms of being a new distributor, but then also in terms of leadership. I know we can grow in the space of helping people really unlock and not quit, right? So some people don't, are, I mean, some people are just going to quit, but the ones who decide to stick around, how do we help them maximize, or how are you helping your new distributors maximize over those first 3 calendar months?
So I have learned, so I don't know if you guys do the color personalities or not, but I'm a yellow blue, and if you don't know what that is, okay, good. I always cared about what people thought, and I avoid, typically we avoid confrontation. We don't like to, basically we just don't want to hurt anybody. We don't like the confrontation. We don't like those kinds of things. And so coming from, I'll kind of hit both of those. As a leader, I would be, I was afraid to tell people, I guess, like, I was talking to like potentials. I didn't know what I should say. I'd be like, I don't want to say too much about like host to post. What if they don't like that? And I thought, well, what a dingbat, because they're going to come in and they're going to do host to post. That was really silly. So I'm like, okay. So last year was not a great year for me, as far as leadership. I was having a really hard time, and I kept praying for the Lord to just give me boldness, and that just kind of came out of nowhere. I was like, I just wanted to pray for boldness, and I didn't even know what that was going to look like. And as I have gotten into that last year, I mean, I'm typically the type of person that signs anywhere between 12 to 8 to 12 distributors a month. Out of every single one of those distributors I signed last year, up until November, so January to October, two completed a 150 bonus and then quit. And so I'm like, what am I doing wrong? And I was having a hard time. I was struggling. Maybe this isn't for me anymore. Maybe, like, am I not the leader, that I'm supposed to be anymore? Where am I supposed to be doing? And excuse me, we were in, I think I told Rachel, we were in Walmart, and my husband and I grocery shopping in the bread aisle. I get a text that my most recent distributor messaged me, and she was quitting. And I'm like, I start bawling in the bread aisle at Walmart. And I'm like, what on earth, Lord? Like, what am I doing wrong? What is going on with this? And we were on one of our diamond huddles, and one of the girls, who was a red, she was like, it takes what it takes. And I'm like, it does take what it takes. And so I started praying for that boldness, and I started having it in my team, telling my leaders what they needed to hear, because they know it's coming from love, but it wasn't that boldness of telling people what they needed to hear. And so I was like, okay, Lord, I'm giving you my business. Every morning I give him my business. I tell him, guide every inch of my body, guide my mouth, guide my hands, lead them to who you want. Guide my feet, guide my thoughts, guide my eyes and my ears. Don't let me be so stuck in what I think needs to be done. Guide me what you want me to do. And so all of a sudden in November, in the middle, I was like, I'm going to put up a TikTok really fast. And it was one that I did a year before. So it was the end of 2022. And I was like, I'm just going to stick it up. It blew up. And I ended up getting it, like, there was at least 500 texts that I got from 11 a.m. to that night. It was just over and over and over and over. I was getting texts. And so, okay, I'm starting fresh, clean slate. And so when I talked to these people, I told them, this is a job. You're going to have to put in effort, like, you are looking for a job, right? So obviously, coming in, this is going to take time and effort. It's not something that, you're going to join and be like, wait, I have to actually do work. There's people that are going looking for a second job, and they're waitressing or they're cleaning houses. That takes time. And so I told people this is going to take time and effort, but it's from your phone. So you could be sitting next to your kids on the couch and you can work your business. I think that's a lot better than going and waitressing where you wouldn't even see your kids. And so I just kind of talking to people and letting them know this is a job and it's going to take effort, but I can help you be successful. We have systems that if you do these every single day, you will be successful. Like that's it. We have it down to a science. You do this task list, you will be successful. That's what I've done. That's what I teach my team to do. And so having that confidence to tell them what they needed to hear, they are coming into this business knowing this is taking effort, and they're messaging me. I'm like, you're going to have to message me every day. We're going to have to talk every day because I'm going to teach you how to be successful. I'm going to teach you how to reach your goals. So coming in, they are expecting that. And so as for me, that's what I did as like a leader, as enrolling in distributors. Now, if you're new and you're coming into this, you need to be talking to your enroller every day. You need to be asking them questions. When I joined, I was messaging Kelly all day, all day. What do I do next? What do I do next? How do I do this? How do I answer this? Send your enroller screenshots and tell them, hey, how do I answer this? And they're going to teach you how to do that. And I always talk about when I joined, when I started working at our bank, I was a teller. I'd never worked at a bank before. And I go in there, they didn't say, okay, here, we're going to set you down in this room and you're going to just look over all this paperwork. You're going to go study everything. You're going to go learn everything. Weeks later, you're going to come out here and you're going to start doing the work. No, day one, they stuck me in the little cubicle, but this lady was standing next to me the whole time. And she was saying, somebody comes in, she'd be like, this is what you say to them. And I'm like, okay. And I just say it to them. The person would say something back. I would go to her. She goes, this is what you say next. I'm like, okay. And it was just back and forth every single day until she thought, okay, you've got the hang of this. I'm going to let you talk to some people, but I'm going to be right over here if you need me. If they bring you something that you've not been asked before, I'm going to be right here. And that's what I did. I mean, I still ask Kelly questions sometimes, eventually you're going to know it's a gummies post. You're going to send gummies info, like you're going to get it. But it's crazy to think that you're just going to go figure it out because you're going to be waiting forever if you go figure it out yourself. Let your enroller, let your team, the leaders lead you, and they're going to tell you exactly what you need to do. Ask all the questions.
I'm just sitting here listening, like, yes, girl, yes, yes. So, talk to me about connecting. That was so good. I'm just sitting here, like, so many things that I wrote down, but I probably said the biggest thing was the time and effort and how you really walked through like your analogy of real life. Like real life, you have to go through training. Real life. I mean, I was a telemarketer at one point, and we had a script. Now, eventually, I began to put me into the script once I was good at it. But and I'm be honest with you, because I was in high school. When I actually followed the script, I got more sales than when I diverted from the script, especially in the beginning, thinking I knew what I was doing. I'm be blatantly honest. And when I said it word for word, how the script said it, sometimes I was fearful of saying it because I wasn't a salesperson. So I was fearful of saying it. But when I did say it, they said yes, like with no issue. And I'm like, I need to just follow the script all the time. Because if I did, I would be having bonuses on my check, you know? So that is so good because I don't know. Anyways, so next question. When you are when you have a new distributor, what is your number one way that you connect with your distributor and cause them to feel like they can, and I don't know, maybe this is a yellow blue thing, but what is your way to connect with your new distributors?
So when they first come in, I am using we have a launching board and I do use that. But I use that more of like a guide because sometimes I will say, building relationship. And that is hard. If you're like that red green personality, maybe that might be a little bit harder for you. It may not be if you're functioning, higher. But I know I've had reds on my team, and for them, it is hard. They're like, I don't know how to make small talk. I don't know how to do these things. And I'm like, listen, you're going to talk to them like they're your best friend. And so my sister, she's a red, and I'm like, how would you talk to me? You know how to have a relationship with me. You know how to talk with me. And she's like, yeah, I guess so. And so I talk to everybody like they're my best friend, and I've known them my whole life. And so I am talking to them. I'm like, okay, I'm like, and I'm making jokes. I can, if they're sending an LOL or a laugh emoji or anything that shows that they have any kind of personality whatsoever, I'm making jokes. I'm being silly. I'm sending funny gifts. And maybe if you're not the joking kind of person, I'm like, you can still send a GIF or whatever those things are called, the GIF. I don't know how to pronounce it, but that's what I say. But those gifts, and that, I mean, it's just funny. And I remember Kelly telling me once, she's like, you know, I don't know if you guys, I don't know if you've seen Kelly much probably, but she is silly and she does not hold back of anything. Nothing embarrasses her. And like, so in one of my chats the other day, and she's probably on Darcy, I was like, I just coughed really hard and peed a little. I was like, this really stinks. Because like we were having a conversation, but like that made us laugh. And we're like, she's like, oh my gosh, I do that too. But I'm like, that's just how you talk with your best friend. You have this conversation and you build relationship that way, commenting on their post. And if you're a red, this doesn't come natural, make it a task. Make it a task on your task list, have a leadership task list, and say, like, I'm going to go comment on one of their life posts. I'm going to send them something, I'm going to send them a funny gift. I'm going to purposely have conversation with them today because as a yellow blue, that comes natural for me, relationship, but it may not for you. So for you, it's okay if it's a task. That's how you learn. That's how you grow. It's like for me doing the red or the green stuff, like check, I'm awful. I've been every day, I've been running a report and shouting out our rollers the day before. I had forgotten to do it since Friday. And I'm like, you guys have to remind me, like my green is not functioning. Send me a reminder. I'll do it. But you have to make it a task. And so just write it down, send an alarm even, build that relationship. I feel like that is huge to just get that going as far as connecting with them. But I want them to feel like this is a lighthearted, very laid back, because like I've done other businesses and it wasn't laid back. It wasn't fun. And so I felt like I was pressured all the time and I didn't like that. I don't want them to feel pressured. I want them to know if they come in and they want to sign one customer a month, that's okay. Some people are here for relationship and nothing else, and that's all right. So I want them to know I'm not I'm not setting any goals for you. I'm not giving you any quotas. That's you. And I'm just here to help you reach that. And we're going to have fun doing it.
I'm sitting here like listening and just taking that in and yes, that's so good. Being a real person, creating the task list. Kima said, task what's not natural until it becomes muscle memory, which is good because you want to be a holistic leader regardless of the colors that you naturally are inclined to. That doesn't mean that just because you're naturally inclined to that, you don't have to do the other things. That doesn't mean that. You want to be well rounded. That's so good. It's so good. And then even just taking the pressure off and allowing people to be, but letting them know what's available to them. So let's talk about that. What does the conversation look like to say, listen, you could make a whole bunch of money? Like, do you, and I can help you do that? Or
Yeah.
do you want to make just a little money? Like, what does that conversation look like?
Right. So usually when I'm talking to potentials, a lot of times they're telling me what they want. And if not, usually, day one, day two, I'm asking, so tell me what you want from this. Like, what are some things that you would like? What are some options? And a lot of them come and tell me, I want to be able to quit my job or I want, whatever. And so I do like to show them if I think I'll definitely show them like a Ruby chart for sure and say, okay, this is, we're going to do this and this is going to get you $200 or $300 extra a month. But we have these bonuses that you can get until then, because when you first start, your commissions is going to be small. That's how it is. You're just getting your organization started. So it's going to be small, but our company has these bonuses that you can earn unlimited in your first, the first 3 calendar months. So I'm letting them know these 150 bonuses, these are what you want to really go after. We want to really make sure we're getting these. And so day 1, we're talking about, we're putting up their post. I give them a new distributor training that we have, that we do, but any kind of new distributor training, corporate would be fine. Excuse me. And then I kind of walk them through their e-suite and let them know you can order here, send me the picture of their website. That way I can know if they get somebody that's interested, we know what their website is. And that's what we do on day 1. Excuse me, I'm just getting over something and I still have a cough. But then on day 2, we're talking about that dirt list. We're saying, okay, I want you to be thinking about, who can be your first 4 customers and your teammate, is there anybody, and I like to talk to them and tell them about my story. I was like, I was so excited when I joined. I asked my sister and my best friend to join, but I asked a ton of people. Not all of them said yes. Some of them ignored me. Some of them told me no. That's okay if they tell you no. If somebody asked me, hey, I'm a teacher, you want to come be a teacher? I'd be like, heck no, like, no, thank you. There's no way I'd be a teacher right now. That doesn't mean you're stupid and I think that job is dumb. That means that's not for me. And so that's all right. Teachers are amazing and we need teachers. So just because somebody says no, they're not interested in this, that doesn't mean that you're wrong, just means it's not for them. So I'm telling these people my experience, and that I asked a lot of people to get some, to get a couple to join. And then I show them a Ruby chart on day 2. I show them the task list and I say, this is like a piece of cake, or this is like baking a cake. All of these ingredients on that sheet, those are what you need to make your business successful. I'm going to be teaching you every single one of those ingredients. Not today. It's going to be day by day, but this is going to be here for you as a reference. And then on day 2, I'm adding them to our announcement chat that we have. And every day we send a product post, a business post, like the hard sell, colorful background posts, we call them hard sell. I send away, we tell them what are recommended times to post each of those. So we're kind of taking the guesswork out of, I post it here, 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 and here at the same time. We say in the morning is a good time to post the product post. At lunchtime is a good time to post that business colorful background post. About 5 o'clock is a good time to post a life post. And I made a YouTube video explaining what a life post is. We have a lot of people that are like, I have a boring life and I don't know how to post a life post. So I tell them, I give them examples. And then I send that video with it. And then we say in the evening time, about bedtime, you want to post your business story, what you want this business to do for you post. And we tell them about bedtime post it. And I made a YouTube video for that as well, explaining how to do that if you're brand new and you've not made any money. And so we give them that, we give them story slides, we give them the Zoom schedule for the day, and we send all of that in the morning. And then we have one of our girls, Jess, she sends Jesus Calling. I don't know if you guys ever read that, but I love Jesus Calling. And so she sends that day's Jesus Calling in the chats for everybody to read for like some self-development. And so on day 2, these guys are, a lot of times they're posting consistently, because they're seeing what time we give them to post. We're giving them 2 posts, explaining that. And then a lot of times they're hopping on Zooms because we're sending that Zoom schedule. And I send a video when they're brand new. We send them a video saying, this is how the announcement chat works. It's not for conversation. It's just for sending these things. If we go live, we send it in there. Anything from Road to VIP, we send it in there, stuff like that. So they're kind of getting that vision casted from the beginning of, wow, they've got like this down to a system, they've got systems. And they're getting on Zooms and hearing the stories and hearing our power hours and the tasks. And so they're kind of just catching on from the beginning because they're seeing all of this stuff and they're seeing, yes, the systems, like they do matter. And that was huge. Last year, the Lord gave me systems and get up at 5 a.m. And I kept fighting it. I'm like, I am not a system person. I'm a yellow blue. But here I am, growing in my red and my green with my boldness and my systems. And it works though, but we need systems. People need to have that comfort knowing we've got it down to a science. I'm going to do this, 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 and this, and I'm going to be successful. So they're kind of seeing that repetition every day of the same stuff each day. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, that's amazing. That's awesome. That's on point. That was so good. But come on, being obedient to the Holy Spirit. That's so good. That'll take you places that, and that's a whole nother Zoom. So thank you for that. So I have two things left. So the first thing is, what would you say to, and this is just more so mindset. I think mindset is just so important. But what would you say to the person who um, is sees the systems but has not been implementing the systems and needs the encouragement to walk into day one? What would you say to that person?
I always like to talk to them because, like, usually if they're not working on those, if they're not doing the tasks or they're not doing the posts, there's a reason why. Usually, they're either overwhelmed, they're scared, they're not sure how to do it. And so talking with people and say, tell me how are you feeling about things? Where are you struggling? Like, tell me anything that you're feeling, ask me the questions, and let's figure this out. And so that's really just what we do, is just kind of help figure it out for them. I know a lot of my girls, if they're working full time, it's funny. We had a Zoom today with one of my girls that she just got laid off. And she's like, I had a week of, I don't know what to do now. And I said, I feel like in this business, I feel like every 3 months we're thrown off. I'm like, so here about May, we're going to be thrown off because it's end of the school year and baseball is starting. All the sports are starting. Then um, June is going to come and the kids are out of school for 3 months and then we're thrown off. How do I do this business? And then September, they're back to school and you're like, I have all this time. It's just, we're always transitioning. And so for them, a lot of times it's the transition of like, I'm not even sure how to fit this into my day. And so with that, I like to start small. We're giving you 2 posts. Let's figure out the life post and let me help you figure that out. And let's set alarms to remind you. So tell me about your day. What does your day look like? What time do you leave for work? What time do you get home? Are you able to post it all during the day while you're at work? Like, I just look at it as if it was me and I'm trying to figure it out, what would I be doing? What am I asking? Like, what am I asking myself? What am I looking at for my own day of what I'm missing? And so a lot of times that's what it is just they're not sure how to even implement this into their day. Like, you can be given everything, but like I said, if you're like, I've got my kids and we're going to sports and we're doing this and we're doing that. And I'm like, I have Marsha on my team that I don't know how many hours in the morning she takes taking all 3 of her kids to 3 different schools. And then she picks them up and then she coaches one of their teams and they're just doing all the things. And I'm like, if she can do it, anybody can do it. And so it's just fitting it in and I tell them, this is going to bless your family. And remember why you started, this is worth it. And if you're the type of person, if you're telling me I want to quit my job, this is going to feel like you're working 2 jobs right now. It's going to feel overwhelming. Overwhelming is when we grow. That's how we grow. That's how we figure stuff out. We're forced to figure it out. And so you're going to feel that for a while, but it's temporary. This is a temporary feeling. It's not always going to be this way. You're not always going to be working 2 jobs for the rest of your life. This is temporary until you get to that place where you can quit your job or whatever it is. And so really just helping them figure out, fit this into their day. A lot of times they're like, I don't do, life posts. So I help them figure out, what can your life post be? We want it to be something simple that you don't have to think a lot about, that you can pop it up. And I'm like, I post Jesus calling almost every morning. And if I don't, I go to Pinterest and I search like Christian inspirational or Christian motivational or scripture about worry or something like that. And I'll post that. So I'm like, you can definitely do this. Do you want to help people? I like for people to come to my page and feel like they got a smile on their face. One of my girls, Brittany, she loves to post funny stuff. And so I'm like, funny parent things or whatever. And I'm like, so there's different people that you can go get ideas from. So really just helping them figure out, how are they feeling? Are they overwhelmed? And let's just start small. Let's set alarms for posting and then go from there and work in a little bit of maybe friending or work in a little bit of host to post if they're ready, but telling them why. Kelly always says, tell them, show them, explain why. And so a lot of times people don't know why that's beneficial. Usually I think that's the greens that need to know why. But like, I think it's telling them, don't just tell them you need to put up a life post, tell them why it's important they put up the life post or whatever it is that they're struggling with.
Good. That's so good. Um, so good. I wrote down a lot of things that is good. I do have a question that came through. It says, how do you encourage people who try to reinvent the wheel but haven't tried the system that you put in place?
Yes, I definitely think the why thing. Because we have had people that we had a girl at the beginning of our business, and it's somebody that we know. And so she'd be telling everybody, consult your doctor. She'd sent the information. She said, go talk to the doctor first before you order. And we're like, wait, why are you doing that? She goes, because it says it on the label. I'm like, but it has to say that. They don't have to. Like, these are natural products. If they can't have something, they're going to tell you. She's like, oh, but she just didn't know why. Like we had to tell her why. Just like, you know, I always, we talked about this the other day. If you see somebody, and this is why you want to tell people on your team what they need to hear, don't let them post, crappy posts. Don't let them do the wrong things. Don't let them share whatever the things are. Don't let them do those things. And I always say it's like if I came out of the bathroom and I had toilet paper out of my pants, I hope somebody would tell me, Rach, you got some toilet paper hanging from your pants. That is going to be embarrassing, but that's how it is. It is what it is. I've got toilet paper in my pants. That's embarrassing, but I don't want it there. Tell me it's not there. Tell me to get rid of it. So it's like the same thing. If you've got people on your team doing something wrong, I mean, it might be embarrassing for them, but you're going to tell them why. Tell them why they shouldn't do that. Tell them why they shouldn't share. Tell them why that post isn't really a good post to put up. Tell them what to do instead. And then, like the sandwich method, we always, edify, correct, and then edify. But I mean, that really is, I think, the biggest thing is explaining why that's wrong. And then show them, give them an example. I'm doing a lot of screen recording. So sometimes it's just a confusion thing. So like a lot of times I'll show my girls, I have a screen recording of how I send my host to post asks down my friends list. And I show them how I go from Messenger, I go to my Facebook, and I show them how to do this. So sometimes it's just a confusion thing. Maybe they know why, but it's just a confusion thing of how to do it, you know.
It's really good. Explaining why. That is good. I think that's good. Well, I'm excited. Anything else you would love to share with us? If there are any other questions, go ahead and send them to me in the comments. But anything that you would have, we are in expectation of helping our new distributors, so many of them, start getting these unlimited weekly bonuses regularly and on a high level. And so, anything else that you would love to just leave us with and just encourage us with, and whatever God gives you would be such a blessing to hear.
I feel like, excuse me, sorry. I feel like a huge thing is remembering we get sidetracked with our own promotion, our own paycheck. And sometimes we work out of fear. And I know that's what I was doing last year. I was working out of frustration and fear of like, can I even do this? And then seeing the paycheck drop and think, how am I going to fix this? But when you love God and love people, that's the two greatest commandments, right? Love God and love your neighbor. And when you do those two things, everything else falls into place. And when you come at this as not what can I do for my business today? What can, I'm like, if I'm speaking a little bit to maybe anybody, I guess, but I'm afraid to ask people to join my team. I'm afraid to ask people to host a post. I'm afraid to friend people. I'm afraid to put up a TikTok. And then my thing is, you have to flip that mindset around and think, what can I do to bless somebody else today? How can I help somebody else today? And when you make it about them, like when I started, I was asking a lot of people to join my team. It wasn't because, honestly, it was like that ignorance on fire. I had no idea what I was doing. I had no idea how I was going to promote. I just trusted Kelly. She said, here's your diamond chart and let's do it. And I wasn't asking people because it was a task. I was asking people because this was seriously blessing me so much. I wanted everybody to be blessed by it. And I always thought, you're nuts if you don't want to do this. That was my mindset, is I wanted so many people to be blessed by this. And then, so when you send the host to post ask, and you just think about why you joined, why did you join? Did you come from host to post? Did you come because somebody was brave and asked you? Did you come because somebody posted their story? Did you come from TikTok? I have several girls from TikTok. And so I think everybody on my team has come from different places. And had I not been obedient and disciplined with my tasks, where would they be today? People on my team, it's a ripple effect. And so when you're sending those friend requests, you're not just sending friend requests. You have no idea that person that's coming in, what this is going to do for them. You have no idea. I have people that have joined my team. One girl has gone Ruby in 2 years in my business, but she gave her heart to the Lord last year. You don't know what this is going to do for people. And when you send that host to post ask, you don't know the friends that you're going to gain from it. When you put up that TikTok, all you have to do is be obedient. That's our job. Our job is to be obedient. Let God do his job, and he's going to provide. You have faith and be obedient, and he's going to provide.
Amen. Speaking our language, okay? Yes, Lord. That's it. Have the faith and be obedient. Have the faith and be obedient. Well, Miss Rachel, I appreciate you so much. I can't wait to see you in April, 2 months. In 2 months. Normally we've seen each other by now, but it's okay. We're switching it up. I'm excited. Thank you so much for what you've done for us tonight. My heart is encouraged. I can't wait to watch the replay. So many gems. And I just pray that God gives you back 100-fold. And so I am going to ask for you to pray, and then we're going to get up off here. Thank you so much. I appreciate you.
Thank you so much for having me on. I was honored, and I hope it helped somebody. Okay. Heavenly Father, thank you so much for this day. Thank you for everybody that was here tonight. And Lord, I just pray that you bless them, bless the ones that couldn't be on, Lord. And I just pray that you be with each of these people tonight as they leave. I pray that they have open ears to what was said, and open minds. And Lord, I pray that you just work on their hearts. I pray that you work on their businesses and their families. I pray that they just be so blessed by everything every day. I pray, Lord, that you give them the vision to bless other people. I pray that if there's um, any kind of discouragement anywhere, Lord, I pray that you just touch on that. I pray that you give them peace and comfort. I pray for so much joy in each of these people, in their families. I pray that you just do a work in their lives. And Lord, I pray that you give them courage and bravery, to tackle each day and to do the brave things, knowing, Lord, that you've already paved the way for them. You've already set their path ahead. All they have to do is just take that next step, Lord. So I just pray that you, give them that courage, give them those little, God winks every day, that they see you working in all the ways all day, Lord. And that would just be such an encouragement for them to keep going. We love you. We give you all the glory in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Thank you. Have a good night. Bye.